Today we finish the rat bike. Bike is assembled and I've put some gas in the tank and it's not leaking. I'm not getting coolant to flow from the bottle and into the radiator. I don't really know why, because this point is lower than the bottle, obviously. It's really late, and so I'm not going to bother with the coolant. I'm just going to see if it starts. No luck. I'll have to check for spark. I found the root of my problem. There's one of the ignition coil wires that I haven't gotten properly in there. So I'll fix that and we'll see what happens. Perfect. Okay, it works. Probably some carb issues, maybe some dirt in there, so I have to clean the carb, but yay! Okay, that's it for tonight. It's really late. A few days later, back in the shop for some troubleshooting and hopefully fixing of the problems I encountered last time I was working on the bike, and was hoping to get it finished or ready for the road. So first up is the wiring. I found, as you saw, the wire for the coil, which was disconnected. Fixed that. Now my next problem is that I've got ground on the positive side of the lighting wiring. So somewhere there may be that I have mixed up one of the wires, and I've run a earth wire or a ground wire in the loom for the positive side, of the wiring. So I'll have to tear off the electrical tape and have a look at that. Then there's fixing this pipe, which is probably clogged, because even with the full bottle there is nothing coming out here. The power for the lights are AC, not DC. Running these LEDs, which I was going to do, is not going to work. I hadn't thought of that, or I just overlooked that thing, so I'm going to use a red standard bulb instead. Okay, so I've removed all the electrical tape, and the problem seems to be gone. So I'm not quite sure what is going on here. Now I've got connectivity between the ground and the frame, so that's the way it should be on both wires. Let's see here. So that's the ground frame, or the ground point to the frame, and there's connectivity, and there's no longer connectivity between the positive side and the ground point. These problems are the worst problems, because when you know the problem is there, but there's no cause, yeah, and it's suddenly gone. Intermittent problem. Okay, I'll do some troubleshooting, and I'll bring you back when I've found the problem. I can't find any obvious problems here, so I'll just disconnect the lights for now, and I'll leave it out of the bike and just run some jumpers to properly ground it. And I'll clean the carb and fix that tube and start it and see and test for voltages, because I can't really do anything without the bike running, or test if it works or not. So yeah, but I'll leave it off the bike for now, because I'm suspicious of some of the wiring here. So there's no obstructions in this pipe as I can find, so there has to be something going on here. I'll see. I'll pour in some water and see what happens. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong there either. What I think maybe I have done is I've pushed this tube too far up there and kind of shut off the flow from the nipple going out of the bottle and down. So I'll try to just put it a little bit, not that far, into the hose, and let's see if it works. Oops. Are you still there? I'll reattach and see if I can manage to fill it up. But before that, I will clean the carb. Carb is remounted and it's clean enough, and now it's time to attempt filling up the coolant system again. There's not much going on here, and I honestly can't figure out why, because could this pipe be clogged maybe, and there is no air coming through? I'll try to undo the air line and see if that makes a difference. Okay, so blowing into it seems to have got it started, so I'll reconnect and start adding fluid. I'm not quite sure if this fixed it, but we'll see. So the level is not sinking anymore. It's weird stuff. I think maybe because the engine is mounted about the same level as the radiator, there's an air trap or whatever, so I disconnected one of the lines going to the carb, or the line from the top of the cylinder going to the carb. I blew into it and it started flowing air and then water after a while. So I think maybe I fixed the problem. I will try to start it and see if the coolant is circulating, and yeah. So, but we'll see if it starts now and if it works better than last time. Got the voltmeter set to AC and connected up to the light source or the light coil, and I'm going to see if I've got any voltage there. And there's 12 volts AC there, so no problem. Then it's just a matter of hooking up the wires again and the lights, and we should be golden. It works. So, guess it's time to just get it outside and do a little test ride. So this was going to be a success story today of me just doing a test ride on the bike, and I even bought this cigar to celebrate. But just a few miles into my test ride, something is wrong with the variator. The engine is fine, so thank God, but the variator is the rear pulley is jammed. And there was a very strange noise coming from it when that happened. So I am suspicious that since I left this hole open just for cooling, I was thinking, but there might have been a stone entering and jamming the rear pulley. At least I hope something like that happened. Also, there could be a clutch spring that snapped, but it should work. The clutch should just be hooking up earlier, so yeah, stay tuned. So this turned out to be a success story after all. I'm sorry I lost the I didn't press record on the camera. But a friend of mine came to the rescue with some tools from my garage, and here's a picture of what happened. The contra spring had somewhat or somehow got entangled in the clutch shoes and broke. So I replaced it with a little bit softer spring, so it's not quite as fast as it used to be, but it doesn't really matter. And now everything works, and there's no leaks, and the engine is fine. To celebrate, I am doing what Jay would do, and that's to light up a big fat cigar. His cigars are probably much better than what I've gotten hold of. It's from the local gas station, and it probably tastes as bad as it is named. The Guantanamera. Yeah. Hooray! Thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.